One other name to mention, since we're talking about Sam Darnold here, the Vikings also have Daniel Jones under contract until Wednesday, technically, but he can begin negotiating today. There's a good chance Jones is going to end up with a starting job somewhere. When you look at the musical chairs game, I mean, there may be one or two more quarterbacks than there are spots. There's a chance he's going to end up with a starting job, and their fan base is going to go nuts. But, folks, Jones took the Giants to the playoffs and won a playoff game in Minnesota. And when Jones left last year, the Giants didn't get better. They got worse. So your team could do a lot worse than Daniel Jones if Jones ends up signing with your favorite team today. But, Chris, I think there's a chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a very real chance that Daniel Jones is going to be a starter somewhere, to the point where I was told over the weekend the only way he stays in Minnesota is if he's the starter.
He's got starting caliber ability. I do think he's an NFL starter. As we've talked about all the time, the Giants, it was a disaster situation. There wasn't many people that were going to succeed there with the Giants. But, for a guy that I root for, and I think I root for him, and I do think he was got an unfair shakeup here in New York too, in a lot of ways. I'm one of those guys that's rooting for him while rooting against him. I don't want that to happen. I don't think it's the best thing for him to go start in Cleveland or Tennessee or some situation where it's not good. And if it doesn't start good, and first off, it's going to be a negative aura around it altogether because of Daniel Jones and what's happened in New York. I just feel like if they start 0-2, it's just, boo, you got Daniel Jones. What are you guys are idiots? How stupid are you? Didn't you see the Giants the last few years? The situation is more important than playing. And that's where I would hope he stays in a situation like Minnesota to where either he competes or he gets the chance that I'm the backup, and if J.J. McCarthy does go down or falters, I come in and I'm Superman. And I think it's more about the situation to prop him up, because the next situation, just because he might be a starter, it might be his last chance to be a starter if it's the wrong place. He might never be a starter again, and he's got to be picky and smart about this, and that's where I'm kind of hoping it doesn't happen for him, Mike.
He falls into a very rare category, and he might be the only member of this club, kind of like the delayed first-round bust, because he got a new contract. He got a $40 million a year contract from the Giants, and it was in the second year that they decided to move on. They decided to bench him to avoid $25 million in injury guarantees, and that's when he asked to be released. If you're not going to let me do anything other than play scout team safety in a walkthrough, let me go somewhere where I can throw the football at practice. And there was a lot of conversation about that. He did what he had to do because the Giants did what they had to do, and they ended that contract early, but he earned that contract, and he was making $40 million a year. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.